the primary question is to see how oil spill affected deep diving marine mammals, with emphasis on sperm whales and beaked whales. But we also try to develop passive acoustic monitoring technologies, new approaches and technologies to do cost-efficient assessments of the impact. And we're also trying to develop mathematical models with data input to answer the question to predict how long it would take for the population of whales to recover after the event of that magnitude. Whales create unique, so they orient themselves and they pretty much live in a world where you sound. So we're primarily visual. We rely a lot on our vision, but unfortunately if you dip 1,000 meters down, you cannot see. And so they rely on the sound when they dive. And different species produce very unique sounds, and you can detect the species based on the sound they produce. So we put listening devices, hydrophones, into the ocean, and so we kind of eavesdrop on them and study them with the so-called passive acoustic monitoring methods. So we just listen, and then we come back to the labs and we look at our data, or sometimes we stream them to the ship computers and look in real time, and we detect whales. And then we know what one whale is capable of producing, and then we can detect how many animals in the area. We have quite very interesting data results, which we're trying to interpret now. If we compare the population of the beaked whales, Cuvier's and Gervais, for example, before the spill in the region and after the spill, that population increased from 2007 to 2015. But what we call response, and we're not just stating it's just because of the oil spill, but if you look at in the region, and we work on a regional scale, but if you look on the sperm whale abundance in the region, that it dropped from 2007 to 2010, and abundance never recovered near Deepwater Horizon spill site. And we're still trying to understand what's going on, if it's effect which propagates from bottom up, so prey is not there, and the different divers, and I'm hearing from my biology colleagues that sperm whales feed closer to the bottom than the beaked whales, and so maybe different levels of, different trophic levels were affected differently, and if you're closer to the bottom, and this is where the bottom oil is, maybe there are more effects. So those are still questions to answer. And we're trying to reach across different research team and try to correlate what we see in the whales with prey assessment, whales prey assessment, for example, fish or squid. So we're trying to reach out to Deep End Consortium and see. And we're also trying to bring some physical oceanography team and kind of look at changing environmental conditions, which can also drive whales to migrate from one year to another, from one season to another. So we want to look at the general state of the Gulf and hopefully get some insight where is the bottom oil also and how it correlates with a reduction in the sperm whale abundance in the area. So that's still a lot of questions to answer. If we start losing the population of the whales, for example, in the Gulf, the equilibrium, so to speak, or steady state of an ecosystem could be impacted very dramatically. And then it will impact our fisheries, it will impact our coastal communities, because we have so much connectivity in among Gulf of Mexico animals. So and as I told, sperm whales were actually chosen as the sentinels for the ecosystem, state. So they kind of reflect on the health of the whole ecosystem. And in addition, I mean, who wouldn't want to keep those creatures around? So they're magnificent.